Welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report today for July the 24th of 2020. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the hottest news you need to know from around the industry, hosted on YouTube and podcast services around the world 5 days a week. It is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know. So hey, if you enjoy the show and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep coming back for more. However, this is a day that 10-year-old internalized me has been waiting for a very, very long time. The inspiration for me getting into the world of YouTube and Twitch, and of course, content creation itself, is making a comeback. The G4 network will return in 2021. G4, the defunct cable television network that featured tech, gaming, and entertainment programming, is apparently returning in some form in 2021, according to a teaser posted by IGN during Comic-Con at Home, the online replacement for San Diego Comic-Con 2020. The official Twitter accounts for Attack of the Show and X-Play, G4's best-known shows, also posted the teaser along with the tagline, "We never stopped playing." The only other activity currently visible on those accounts is retweets of tweets from 2012. The teaser contains few details on the way in which the TV network and/or its signature programming would return. In the 1-minute video, a camera pans through a dark warehouse until it comes upon a game of Pong being played on a CRT television. The TV's screen glitches and displays the words "incoming transmission" before the camera flies through a very 2009-era animation of zooming through internet wires that eventually resolves to the G4 logo. The year 2021 appears on the screen, followed by the aforementioned tagline. G4 was a television network that launched in 2002 and shuttered in 2014. Among video game fans, it is probably best known for shows like X-Play, originally hosted by Adam Sessler, who expressed apparent surprise at today's announcement, and Attack of the Show, a live pop culture and review show with a collection of funny hosts. Olivia Munn, one of the show's former hosts, also retweeted the G4 teaser video. G4 was most recently owned by Comcast subsidiary NBCUniversal. It is possible that the network could return as part of Peacock, the streaming service that the company fully launched last week. Of course, the team at Polygon has reached out to NBCU for comment and will update if there is any new information. But first and foremost, very excited to see this, specifically because now there are going to be two major players in the professional grade content creation game. You have G4 now, and you have Vin, which is another network of a similar nature to G4 that is taking a lot of inspiration from the original foundations of G4 and creating a new network that is going to be launching at the beginning of August in just a couple of days in the grand scheme of things. Now, when it comes to G4 as a new entity making its way into the space in 2020, or specifically 2021, which is going to be very similar to how we see things set up today, it is a completely and totally different market. When G4 was beginning to hit its peak towards the mid-aughts, you didn't see Twitch live streaming. You didn't see the rise of YouTube to the degree that it has reached today. The space has shifted to where now more independent content creators are beginning to get more attention than some of the biggest media empires do on a daily basis. And so the question is, can G4 survive and find a way to tap into an audience in the modern space of digital content creation and really overall gaming culture? Because back in the day, G4 was where it was at. If you wanted to enjoy a conversation surrounding video games and you wanted to see professional grade content with full sets and host talking about the latest news, G4 was where you went. And I mean, that comes from me, somebody who grew up loving and worshiping G4 if you really want to get down to it. And it is also worth mentioning, G4 is a foundational part of the reason we have the culture in gaming that we have today. Without shows like X-Play and Cheat and Attack of the Show, and Code Monkeys even is one that comes to mind for me in the world of animation, there is so much that would be completely fundamentally changed. So to see that G4 is making a comeback is certainly something that gets me excited, but my question is, how big of a deal is this really going to be at the end of the day? Because you can take a name and you can take an entity, and at the end of the day, it is a hollow shell of what it once was. If the proper care is not given to G4, and if the proper hosts are not given the opportunity to strut their stuff and show the internet what they have, this could be a very big flop. And that is another big question. How is this going to be presented? Well, you see a G4 channel spring up on Twitch that hosts streams 24/7. Well, you see a dedicated network and some kind of online format. TV in and of itself is likely out of the question, but how will G4 present? What form will it come in? I think that the team at Polygon might be onto something whenever we see the Peacock app mentioned here, because Peacock is the new streaming service from NBCUniversal that is competing with the likes of Hulu and Netflix to some degree. YouTube TV is also one that comes to mind. And so will we end up seeing G4 come to the Peacock network exclusively? It is entirely possible because of that NBCUniversal exclusivity. But the power of the name alone is something that is very significant, because if you look at Twitter right now, G4 is trending. People are talking about this in gaming news. It is something that is getting a lot of interactions online. You see the Attack of the Show account tweeting. You see Olivia Munn tweeting. You see so many people that are significant in the gaming industry getting excited about G4 coming back. Even the original announcement from IGN has 5,000 retweets and comments, 9.1 thousand likes. If you go to the official G4TV account, which I would assume is at G4TV, give me a moment. Let's go ahead and get to it. I know I followed it today. Hold on. Profile. You can see here, perfect opportunity. Follow me on Twitter if you do not already. But if you go to the official G4 Twitter account, where is it? I can't find this. I know that it tweeted. I retweeted it. Well, I guess I could look there, couldn't I? Here we go. There's XPlay. There's IG. Why is it just XPlay? I know that I retweeted it. Hold on. Give me a moment. I'm sorry. This is very unprofessional. Here we go. Beautiful. I'm still following. Oh my God, why am I not following this? Anyways, let's get back to the program here. You have 2.1 million views on Twitter alone for this new announcement. On top of that, 14.9 thousand retweets and comments and 37.6 thousand likes. That is wild. I am so excited. And here at the very top of the comment chain, you see Cliff Blazinski. What? Hell, this may be enough to force me out of retirement. Kevin Pereira, former host of Attack of the Show, saying, oh shit, it's so exciting, man. I adore G4, and I really hope that it comes back to its former glory, because when it shut down, I was crushed. A part of me died. And again, it is a huge inspiration for why I do what I do here today. But moving on to the next topic of today's show, Ghost of Tsushima is the PlayStation 4's fastest selling original IP. Sony is celebrating another successful PlayStation 4 exclusive launch, this time lauding the early access sales, or I should say early success of Sucker Punch's Ghost of Tsushima. No early access in the mix here. The new open world IP has sold over 2.4 million copies within the first 3 days of launch. This makes it Sony's new fastest selling original IP, with the previous record belonging to Horizon Zero Dawn. This also puts Ghost of Tsushima ahead of other PS4 exclusives such as Bloodborne, Days Gone, and Knack in terms of initial sales. This figure is still far lower than what Sony has seen with sequels to established first-party titles. The Last of Us Part 2, which launched in June, sold over 4 million copies in its first 3 days, beating out previous record holder Marvel's Spider-Man, which sold 3.3 million copies in the same period. Both games are also set to receive follow-ups on the PlayStation 5, with Spider-Man Miles Morales launching later this year, and Horizon Forbidden West coming in 2021. Ghost of Tsushima is Sucker Punch's first new IP since the launch of Infamous in 2009, and its first game since the release of Infamous First Light, a standalone expansion to Infamous Second Son in 2014. Despite being a rather routine open-world romp, it still manages to excite with its setting, with our 7 out of 10 Ghost of Tsushima review from GameSpot. 7 out of 10 seems to be a bit lower than the industry average. This is certainly one that is getting a lot of praise worldwide. We talked about this breaking sales records in Japan yesterday, which it is continuing to dominate overseas, and also it is a very significant big seller here in the States as well. But congratulations to the team at Sucker Punch. I mean, really, the PlayStation ecosystem just keeps bringing it. You have had so many incredible games throughout this entire generation, and to cap it all off with Ghost of Tsushima, which by all means is not the PlayStation 4's strongest exclusive, but it is a very strong exclusive in and of itself, and that gets a lot of people very, very excited. But the Halo Infinite demo got a lot of people excited as well. However, a lot of criticism also came from the look of the game and the textures that were shown off. A lot of people defending Halo, a lot of people criticizing it, but the Halo Infinite demo showcased early the build. Let me try that again. This is a very shorthand title. The Halo Infinite demo showcased an early build. Microsoft says the visuals will get better and better. Yesterday, Microsoft showcased Halo Infinite gameplay during its showcase. Why would you start with that sentence? I'm feeling really saucy today. I'm criticizing authors. I apologize in advance. But why would you start off an article which is inevitably going to get tons and tons of traction with the sentence, yesterday, Microsoft showcased Halo Infinite gameplay during its showcase? What? Why did you put the same word with a different tense? Oh my god. Many gamers criticized the visuals because it did not feature ray trace lighting or high resolution textures, but now the company has confirmed that it was a work in progress build. The demo could even be 6 months old at this point. Xbox's general manager of games marketing, Aaron Greenberg, said the following on Inside Xbox. IGN compiled the main quote from the interview. Quote, "Listen, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. It's July. We're far from holiday. You're seeing a work-in-progress game. It is very hard to show the full power and graphical fidelity of what Xbox Series X will be able to deliver for you over a stream. Go back and look at it in 4K 60 FPS. I can tell you because we see build check-ins every week, and they make progress week after week. So between now and holiday, it's just going to get better and better." It was captured from a PC that is representative of the experience that players will have on Xbox Series X. Halo Infinite will get ray tracing support after the Xbox Series X launches, and that should provide a major boost to the lighting on Xbox Series X. Holiday 2020 is still many months away, and Greenberg promised that the visuals will get better, but we'll have to see what changes are made once more footage is available to gamers. Of course, Halo Infinite is an open-world first-person shooter that allows you to explore a massive ring. I can't remember the last time a first-person open-world shooter ran at 4K 60 FPS and was going to get ray tracing on console. Despite what many people may say about the work-in-progress visuals, the technical ambitions of the title are unprecedented, and we have not seen anything like this from the competition. Halo Infinite, in my opinion, of course, if you want to go back and look at yesterday's show in full, was a solid showcase. Am I defending it in full? No. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done, specifically in the textures department. Now, a lot of the conversation online has said, it's an art style. Have you ever heard of a matte art style? I have heard of this. At the same time, there is no getting around the fact that this game does not look as good as it should. If you are buying a next generation piece of hardware, this game should not look literally, objectively worse than a game that came out on the Xbox 360. You have to blend the worlds of realism and the worlds of this matte art style that people have been talking about. If you look at the thumbnail, the wallpaper that we have here, as a matter of fact, very conveniently, I have this as my wallpaper as well. If you look at this, there is realism in the, I can't really zoom out, can I? Regardless, look at this thumbnail. You've got realism in the trees, you've got realism in the Halo ring itself back here, a lot of detailed textures. You see mountain ranges and lakes. You see it split apart here. You see ray trace lighting, that's what I like to call it, off of this building over here. All of these beams. This is what you should see whenever you dive into the game. That's not what you get when you dive into the game. I think this is totally possible on the Xbox Series X if the team puts their hard work in, which I know that they are. Now, I would say I kind of expected this to be a very early build of the game, and it is worth mentioning, just as Greenberg says, this demo was put together during a pandemic. It's very difficult to get anything done in the way that you normally would in the midst of a pandemic where you are all working remotely, and the fact that this showcase even happened at all is certainly very impressive. But if you did want to learn more about the Halo Infinite demo, it looks like things might not be as bad as they originally thought to be. And of course, we will get more gameplay over the coming months. But in the Ubisoft world, Ubisoft's next digital showcase has been dated for September. Ubisoft has confirmed its next digital showcase, Ubisoft Forward, will take place this September. The publisher debuted Ubisoft Forward earlier this month, showing off titles such as Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion, also announcing Far Cry 6. Unfortunately, despite the blockbusters present, the event did not go down well with everyone. In our poll on the subject, they say it pushed square. 33% of readers said the showcase was just okay, while 36% said it was either poor or very poor. Hopefully, this upcoming second attempt will fare better. That is not to say Ubisoft will care too much about the hardcore reaction mind. You know what I just realized? Again, here I am criticizing this article. There's no definitive date. And you say dated for September. I am questioning whether or not this is a legitimate article that is actually news. It is confirmed for September. It looks like we don't have a definitive date. So why would you post this on Friday? And more importantly, why didn't I read it beforehand? Yes, you wonder. You wonder, don't you? Regardless, September is going to be a very big month overall because you have September, then October, which is presumably jam-packed with this year's biggest video game releases. And then on top of that, November is presumably the console release timeframe. So, September is going to be getting closer and closer to many of these big games moments. And I'm looking forward to covering it all here on the Jampack Report. Now moving on, BioWare's bold plan for saving Anthem Pirates. Pirates are a pivotal part of Anthem's redemption arc. Ridiculous, maybe, but there is really nowhere to go but up. BioWare Austin director Christian Daly is the leader fixer-upper on Anthem after EA decided to go back to the drawing board and overhaul the whole dang game. Recently, he shared some concept art of Anthem's fourth faction, the Pirates of Bloodwind. And here is their hideout. And there you have it, that is indeed a hideout. As it turns out, this is the Anthem throw your hands up is not so much a feel-goody party prompt. Your hands go up and surrender as the pirates plunder. Anyways, given the ambiguous timeline on this complete reworking, Anthem's getting repackaged for next-gen consoles, is it not? Oh, indeed, I do believe it is. I can't believe money is still being shoveled into this game. Now, could it make a comeback in some kind of big way? Potentially. But in a world where Destiny has established itself as the go-to place to get that FPS MMO experience, Anthem really doesn't stand a chance, especially considering the negativity surrounding the brand. Now, I would love to be proven wrong, but it is going to take an incredible game to turn the tides of public opinion and get this moving in the right direction, and I quite frankly don't believe it's possible. That could just be me, but I certainly don't see this being the redemption arc that BioWare is hoping for. But to round out today's show, I do have an update for those ravenous fans that have been wondering. The second Sonic the Hedgehog movie releases April of 2022. It is hard to believe that the Sonic the Hedgehog movie started out as the butt of all internet jokes, yet after revamping the art style and fixing Sonic's weirdly human teeth, the first movie was a success, making over $100 million in its opening weekend alone. And there is plenty more where that came from, as the sequel is arriving in 2022. As you can see from Sonic voice actor Ben Schwartz's tweet, the exact date for your diary is 8th of April 2022. The sequel is set to reteam the filmmakers with director Jeff Fowler and scriptwriters Pat Casey and Josh Miller, all returning. As of May, the sequel was still in the development stages, but it seems likely the team will knuckle down to get things moving soon. So, if you are a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, congrats, a sequel is coming to the game that was turned into a movie that was then turned into another movie coming out in April of 2022. Not big on movies myself, takes a lot for me to get into one. I took like 3 months to watch Uncut Gems. I still haven't seen half of the new Star Wars movies that have come out. On top of that, my favorite movie is like Titanic from 1999, so take it for what you will. Was that the year for that one? I'm not sure. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. If you enjoyed today's show, drop me a like down below and let me know what you think about everything we talked about here today. But primarily, what do you think about G4 making a comeback? Would love to hear your thoughts. But until Monday, you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.